Okay, guys, today I'm answering the question from the YouTube user Kendo JJ, and his question is, Bernardo, when is the best time for a white belt to compete? Guys, this is such a great question. I think it's gonna help so many people that are just starting jiu-jitsu right now and are thinking about competing. So guys, the reality is that there is no perfect time, like you're never gonna know when is the exactly time that you should compete. But I think a few things that you should keep in mind is, I wouldn't advise anyone to compete at least before the first 3 months, I think if you're doing jiu-jitsu for less than 3 months, you kind of don't know jiu-jitsu yet, you're just starting your journey, I wouldn't advise someone to go compete without knowing what's going on every position, so I would wait at least 3 months. If I had to be conservative, I would wait at least 6 months, But for example, guys, I always say that every rule has its own exceptions. So for example, I do know people that they started jiu-jitsu and 1 month later they competed and they did okay, they did well. Because everything depends. So for example, if you're the type of guy who trains you just started jiu-jitsu, you're very young, you're training twice a day, every single day, 7 times a week and this and that. If you do the math, 7 times a week, twice a day, for example, just playing around here, 14 times per week, times 4 weeks, it's going to be like 56 classes per week. So you have a lot of classes, which is very different than that average person who trains twice a week. Like the guys who train twice a week, in 1 month, he did 8 classes. In 3 months, he did 24 classes. So it's very, very different, So if I had to put a time on it, which was the question, when's the best time for a white belt to compete? I would say like at least 3 months of training of 2 or 3 times per week. But if I really had to advise a person, like this person is not in a rush or this and that, I would say at least 6 or 8 months, So just to summarize the video here a little bit, so I would say like no for less than 3 months, unless it's an exception, it's a very young guy who's training twice a day, that kind of stuff. And I would suggest the person to compete like after 6 or 8 months, I think if you're doing jiu-jitsu for 6, 7 months and you train like 2 or 3 times per week, you go to a tournament to compete against white belts, it's pretty fair, even if that guy has 11 months of training, it's still okay, you're training for 6 months, you already know what's mount, you know what's side control, you know what's back attack, you know how to defend the back, you know how to do this, you know how to do that. So I think it gets pretty fair. But less than 3 months, I think the chance that you're gonna hate jiu-jitsu is very high, because you don't even know what's going on, if the guy put you in the turtle, there's a chance that you haven't seen like turtle defense as well on your curriculum. And if the guy tries to put some submissions, there's a chance you don't know how to escape. So I think there's a very high chance you can get hurt. And there is also a chance that you just hate jiu-jitsu, it's so boring. I don't know anything, what I'm doing here, and everybody's watching, there's the referee and this and that. And then you can lose very bad and get very unmotivated. So anyways, so just to summarize again, I think every rule has its exceptions. I have heard about people that they just started jiu-jitsu, 1 month later they were competing, they won. Probably they train a lot more than the average person. So no, every rule that has his own exceptions, but I would almost say like really avoid less than 3 months. And if you're not in a rush, try to wait 6, 7, 8 months. I think it's gonna be much better, And for example, I expect that you started jiu-jitsu and one of your goals is to get the black belt. So you're gonna have like 5, 10, 15 years, 20. If you keep competing jiu-jitsu forever, you're gonna have all your life to compete. So there is no way, there is no reason to try to rush it up right now. And just because you're excited, this and that, you're gonna compete, So again, and guys, on top of that also, there are some schools that you don't even do sparrings until you are like 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, On our school, for example, the person, there's the fundamental class, intermediate class, and advanced class. To do the intermediate class, that you start doing specific training, you need 2 stripes. And to get those 2 stripes, it's gonna take like a good 5, 6 months of training, So how would we advise someone to compete if they never even did a specific training, if they never even did a row? Why would we do that? So, but again, maybe this is a 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old that he feels like starting jiu-jitsu a little late, and he just want to rush it up, and he want to train twice a day, 7 times a week. He's doing physical conditioning. He has a wrestling background, has a judo background, and this and that. So it's a different story, you know. Like, and I think this is good to point as well. Like, if the person has judo or wrestling background, it's a completely different story, you know. Like, now they are used about it. They know how to grapple. They know how to go to the ground. So it's a totally different story, you know. Like, but anyways, for the person who has never done jiu-jitsu before, just started jiu-jitsu, is crazy excited, was training 2 or 3 times per week, I would really avoid before 3 months, and I would highly advise like 6, 7, 8 months or something like that. Guys, those are my thoughts. Feel free to disagree. I right here in the comments if you agree or disagree. Literally no hard feelings if you disagree from me. And there's no right or wrong in jiu-jitsu, you know. Like, it's one of the things that there's a lot of like depends. So if you disagree from me, no big deal. And guys, if you're just starting jiu-jitsu, if you're in the white belt, my best seller instructional video is the Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at IBJJFanatics.com. Make sure to check it out. It's going to help you a lot to build your foundation, and I think it's going to be a great video for you. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
IBJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.